Hi everyone, this is Killshot99 Dead, and this is The Passage, Episode 4, Live Fan Reactions. Another solid episode. I'm reeled in. I'm liking what went on tonight. Before I get too far into it, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. I know many of you were at the countdown. If you guys are wondering, the countdown was on the 99 Army page. So if you're tuning in for the reaction, make sure you subscribe to 99 Gaming, 99 Dead, and 99 Army so you don't miss a stream. I see a few people checking in a little bit late. Do want to throw it out there and just ask each and every one of you who are present tonight, what were your thoughts on tonight's episode? If you had to pick one thing in tonight's episode that either shocked you, I guess surprised you, there are no spoilers out there, but what was it about tonight's episode that really had you either scratching your head or you're pretty excited about going forward? I've got 3 or 4 things written down, so I'm going to jump into that in 1 second, but I do want to call on a few of you and get your comments, get your thoughts included in this video. So let's see what you got. Let's see what the reactions were tonight. Liz Burnett said Amy strength. Amy kind of running. You can see she's getting a little bit of her mojo when she ran from the treehouse over to what's the God, I don't even know the guy's name. I'm gonna have to look him up. The guy that doesn't like Brad. How about that? Is it Richards? Is that what his name is? I'm gonna get all the names down. Kimberly M says, I loved Anthony's story. I liked Anthony's story. Is it Zach? Okay, got it. Saved by the Bell. The Doctor and the Blood. Yeah, at the very end. It does appear... Is anybody seeing a theme with the show that it's like story, 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 and then a little bit of excitement at the very end? Like the last 5 minutes seems to be like all the action. Is it just me, or has this happened like 2 or 3 episodes in a row now, where they're spending a little bit more time telling the story, and then right at the very end, they want you to watch next week? I need this stuff to happen a little bit early. It is like a little bit of a cliffhanger. There were a couple things that I wasn't 100%. Yeah, I'm kind of writing down some notes. But when Brad's wife and Lacey was there, was that the reporter on the news that they actually turned the information into? Or am I wrong about that? When the TV came on and they said, we lost one of our own today, and then Lacey's like, we got to go, we got to go. Was that because they were already announcing the death of her? Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure. It happened pretty quick. See, when stuff cool like that happens, it's too early in the show for me to recognize all these characters. See, that's what I thought. I thought that should have been a little bit more of a focal point. I think they've missed a couple opportunities. I'm just being honest. Because there's a lot of good stuff happening. I mean, I like when Brad was up there doing some hostage negotiating or, doing his technique, and the guy came out and shot him. At that point, look, there's some information he just doesn't want to get out there. Sheila Mack says the flashbacks are a little bit confusing. Sheila, I haven't had any issues with the flashbacks yet. I mean, I think they've been pretty distinct. I mean, at least for me, most of the flashbacks have been pretty straightforward. Just checking out a couple comments here. Yeah, you're right, Creepy. They're willing to kill to keep the secret. So I'm going to, do what we do after every episode. I got to get a scoring on this. So tonight's episode from a 1 to a 10. Not the entire series, just tonight's episode. Just want to see where you guys stack rank it. And make sure you bite the like button. I got a couple follow-up questions, too. I just want to see some of these scores. I get a feeling it's going to be some 8s, some 8.5s. I think as they continue to tell a story, the scores are going to be average. Once they finish telling a story and they get to where they're going, still pretty solid. It's a good question. Hardin Nixie says Fanning behind her. Fanning might be behind everything. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm going to give it an 8.6. How about that? So, do you know how, like in Walking Dead, I like to draw this comparison. We got the Alexandrians, we got the Saviors. How many people watching, how many of you are team viral? And how many are not? How many of you think that you're really going to be following these virals a little bit more closely? Or that you're gravitating a little bit more toward them than the people that are not? Because Fanning is finding a way to get through to them. Coachella says anti-Fanning. Omicron's down with the vamp chick, as we're calling her. Shauna Babcock, her, Omicron. Tammy Hill says Team Amy, but we're not sure. I mean, I don't think Amy's going to fall victim to Fanning. I think that's going to be a little bit of the drawback. But there's a few pretty cool virals so far, right? I mean, Shauna, she went through some adversity, so we feel, a little rough for her. And now we got Anthony. He went through some adversity, got framed, and we're going to feel for him. And this is their chance to get revenge on people and revenge on society. Yep. So what's tough about this is we don't have that defined enemy. I guess Fanning, we have it in Fanning. But unlike most shows, I see good and bad in both groups. I see the bloodlust in the virals, but then I see the innocence and how they got manipulated. And then on the human side of it, I see that you feel like, okay, they got to do what they got to do. But then I see the coldness that they're willing to sacrifice anybody in order to do it. So this draws I'm going to go super, super philosophical on everybody. And you guys probably know how I feel about this. Is one life more important than another? We've talked about this in various streams. And I think this show is going to make you search deep down. And at what point do you draw the line? Is one life worth 10 lives? Is one life worth saving 100 people? And we can always change the dynamic. So these doctors, to a degree, are trying to save humanity. But in a way, they're trying to save themselves. It is a hard decision, right, Willani? So I'm going to take it even a step further. Because this reaction really, really spawns like my critical thinking. What if society wasn't meant to be saved? What if this is just the natural course of action? What makes the doctors right? I guess the doctors and the scientists figure they have to do what they have to do, But where do you draw the line? And that's what this show means to me at this point. It's got me thinking. The people that are sacrificing, look, they're willing to sacrifice Shauna. They're willing to sacrifice Anthony. Willing to sacrifice Amy. Maybe crossing the line. And you can see the evil in the people that are for the cause of good. But then you look on the other side and you see the people that are supposed to be evil, and you see that there was actually an element of good in them. So it's really, really gray for me right now. I like it, though. I really like it. And through 4 episodes, if that's the intent, if that's really how they're trying to reel me in, yeah, they got me. They got me with the psychology. And, Heart of Nixie, it's a good point. Only if giving up freely and fully informed. So these people were not fully informed. We know that. And I think we can see right now that it's not as much about, we thought initially it was about age. Because, they were a little older, and then, they got the virus, and then they turned. But there's a bigger story that is in play here. It doesn't appear to have anything to do with the body type or the chemistry or the cells. It has to do with whether or not you're willing to be broken down by Fanning. And once again, this is a bit of a paradox as well, because Amy seems to be the person who can turn around and say, no, I want you to go away at this point. Whereas the others, they're reliving these nightmares that I guess they've experienced more in life, that Fanning has a little bit more to sort of torture and manipulate to sort of get them to give in. Because in multiple occasions, you saw when Shauna initially talked to Anthony Carter and said, all you have to do is just give in and do what he says. And then even tonight you saw it, and Fanning basically said, look, you can live, but in 8 seconds your heart's going to stop. But the way he broke him down was replaying that over and over again to him. Now, Amy has not been as exposed to it as others yet. And there could be something that ultimately gets her. I mean, Brad seems to be the only person that she cares about, so something would have to happen to Brad. Fanning would have to get control of him somehow. But until that happens, and look, maybe I'm a step ahead. Maybe that's season 3, season 4. Jason Craig is liking the series a lot. Yeah, Viola, I think you got a good point. Amy's young, does not have a lot of life experience. So there's not... Fanning doesn't really have a whole lot to attack. I mean, I guess we could see some flashbacks of her mom. How many people think that Fanning will try to manipulate her through a history with her mom? Crystal does. Viola does. Yeah, most people. Because other than that, it's going to be Brad. But it may not work. I mean, she had feelings for her mom, of course. But she still has something that she can hold on to. And I think that was the difference between some of the others. I have not read the book, so I got to tell you, I'm pretty excited to see how this is all going to play out once they start breaking out, once they're on the run. We did talk about a little bit in the countdown how we could potentially see this going and, who's going to team up with who. But whoever his ex-friend, ex-cop, ex-buddy is, I'm thinking his name's Richards for some reason. There's somebody on the show named Richards. But whoever this guy is, that might be the Rick Shane dynamic, that they're just sort of forced to. His friend can obviously handle himself, so I'm not worried about that. But Brad is at a disadvantage. Brad's weakness is always going to be Amy. So if Brad is our Rick Grimes, it's always going to be tough for him to. There's going to be sometimes he's willing to lay it on the line and fight, but that's going to be when Amy's in danger. And see, when Amy is not in danger, she's going to be his Achilles heel. Get used to it, everybody. I hope it's not to a point where it's to a fault. So Forrest Gump says, who thinks that the doctors are underestimating Fanning? Oh, I think they already have. Because they had no clue he was manipulating their blood and their molecules and their body temperature. He's doing all that. Even Sykes said, that's not possible. She couldn't believe it was happening. I think Sykes comes from a pretty good place, but and I wouldn't say Sykes is a major character, but she's got some influence. That's going to be my bold prediction. I don't think it'll be Jonas. I think Dr. Sykes will be the first person to die. What do you guys think? Between kind of the semi-main characters, who's going to be the first person to go? Liz thinks Jonas. Yeah, female Dr. Sykes. Robin. Yeah, I think she's going to be the one to go. It's going to be like The Walking Dead. You can't have so many doctors alive. They'll keep one. It won't be Lacey. I can tell you. Lacey coming back to the show, there's big things happening for her. Plus, she's going to be the one supplying all the weapons. When they take the turn and they start fighting off, and the virals start multiplying, somebody's going to have an arsenal. It's going to be Lacey. I want to remember these streams because we're going to go back to season 1. And who knows? They may manipulate a couple characters. It's like, oh man, we didn't really like this person in the beginning, and then they just change the dynamic. I want to see how they manipulate us. All right, one more question before we wind it down because we're running up on 20 minutes. We've gotten your reactions, the things you liked about the show. Make sure you bite the like button. So at this point, I just need to know, you got Jonas, you got Richards, you got Brad, you got Amy, you got Lacey. Who's your favorite character? I need you to only pick one. So I want to see just who people are gravitating. I think it's going to be split a lot between Brad and Amy at this point. But just want to see where we stand with the audience. A lot of Amy fans. We got a couple Brads thrown in there. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff, everybody. All right. Hey, thanks, everybody. Appreciate everybody being here, getting your reaction included in this video. This is The Passage, Season 1, Episode 4, our fan reaction live video. Tomorrow night, we are going to be talking about some Walking Dead events that went down. So we'll be on this channel. Join at your own risk. There will be some spoilers. There will be some conversation around there. We'll try to get a prediction video in this week that'll have to do with future episodes, but it's just going to be really, really tough throughout the week trying to get, when there's known information out there. So those of you that haven't watched or refuse to watch at this point or have not watched our reaction video from yesterday, just enter the streams at your own risk. So we're going to wind that down. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you being here on the Passage night. We're probably going to mix up the schedule a little bit next week because we will have an official Walking Dead episode that everybody can watch. So instead of Passage Countdown, Passage Reaction, we'll probably have one Walking Dead recap on Monday night and then also a Passage video as well. But we're going to keep this going. If you guys are liking the Passage so far and you like these streams, give me a quick 999 in chat. If you think this was a good idea for us to roll this out, I'm having a good time with it. So hopefully you guys are doing the same. And also make sure you bite the like button. And we're going to leave it at that. I'll give everybody some shout-outs on the way out the door. And then I will catch you guys all tomorrow night. So thanks, Sheila, Diane, Forrest Gump, Mitch Puddin, Coachella, Viola. Awesome. Samantha Coombs, Heart of Nixie, Northside Queen. Moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kells, Omicron, Amy Ferrero, Liz Burnett, Alan Arthur, Walani. I'm liking this. Tammy Hill, I like that the show has a pretty good following at this point. And we can strengthen it. Robin Vance, Maggie B., thank you so much. Good to see the Army is alive and well with the Passage. Leanne Gash, thanks for being here. Chris Rainig, JB, B. We got a ton of people going to be watching the playback. Lakeisha, thank you so much. Hey, appreciate you being here. If you missed a little bit, catch the playback, everybody. Phyllis, 9654. Hippo in the house. Go back and watch the first 3 episodes as well, my man. I think you'll like it. All right, if I miss you in a shout-out, be here tomorrow night at 9:30. We're going to do a little bit of Walking Dead. Whew. Don't want to spoil it tonight, but if you have not seen Episode 9 and you're waiting till Sunday, good luck, because it is awesome, awesome, awesome. Thanks, everybody. I will talk to you tomorrow night at 9:30. Peace.